Welcome to the Interview Podcast, the voice of InterCT. InterCT's aim is to help young athletes become excellent individuals through the vehicle of soccer. Love the game, love to learn, and love to compete at InterCT.
Hi, everybody. Back with another Interview Podcast, and Happy New Year. We're recording in 2024. With me, I have Jan-Apr and Tom Robinson.
How we doing, everybody? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, boys.
Yep. No, good one. Back at it.
Back at it. And we, this week we're starting training, starting the winter training at Sono Fieldhouse and Tomlinson on Saturday. And then we start up with the Winter League on Sunday, although this Sunday may be a little different, maybe because of the weather, the snow.
In sports as well. All Saints, all the venues.
Teams,
everywhere.
Yeah, it looks
Boys
like
and Girls Club.
a little too much
SPU.
on Sunday. But we'll see.
A lot going on.
Monitor the weather and see what happens, what we can do. But this podcast is a special one, I guess, because one, it's the first one in 2024.
Two, we're all together. You always make fun of me being on Zoom.
Yeah, you're
I'm
always
here
on
in person.
Zoom. Well,
Audio should be the best we've ever had.
hopefully. We got Stephen Bell coming in as well. But we figured we would take this podcast, the time here, to do a year in review of 2023. We had a lot happen in 2023 regarding new coaches leaving, partnerships with new clubs, and the turf in 2023, among other things. But we can start off, of course, in January, the first month of the year. We started the work for the turf, clearing some grass, clearing some shrubs, clearing some trees, and making sure that we had the space for the turf. And then another big thing in January was the USL Academy League training. It's a new league for us and new league for the USL in general. But we were very happy to send our boys and girls, for that matter, to go play in the USL Academy League, which we'll talk about later, as later in the year we did fairly well in Tampa. But I can pass February off to Leon.
Oh, we had the player welfare program, and it's something that Marty Walker has been very instrumental in, having a background in sports psychology. And out of most things, this was the thing that we're really pleased to be able to offer. A lot of children or our soccer players have needed some extra help, anxiety, worried a bit about performance. And like it or not, I think those COVID years did have a bit of an effect on some of the players. And you talk to teachers and they say the same. So it was great to be able to offer this player welfare program where we had a couple of intern sports psychology students come along with Marty Walker and be able to offer some stuff. A little beep there as Steven's coming in. One of those coaches was Coach Caitlin, who's also been doing some work with us as well. So that was nice to do and have a lot of players participate in that program.
Hey, Stephen, how you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. How about yourselves? Happy New Year to you all.
Happy New Year, Steve.
Even better seeing you now, mate.
Yeah. My first appearance on the
first appearance on the pod.
Serious haircut for 2024, and not that people could see. And
gone for the Colin Sprague look.
Yeah, well, I just got back actually from taking Angelo to his New Year's haircut. So I think he didn't go quite as short, but otherwise I'd have got in trouble with his mum. But
so we were just talking about February of last year, Steve, in the player welfare program. I think we can pass this March off to you, because you added in it. You still have the doc up, the Google Drive. You added in a couple things. Well, I'll pass this one off to Tom here. Will you get it up? But we had a lot in March.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
For us, I think it's a lot of people see that as still part of the winter. For us, March is pretty much the start of spring season. If you don't look at it that way, your spring season is basically 8 weeks. So we like to do a lot of tournaments in March. One of the big things that we did with more of the Norwalk base was we had the USL Academy, and we went down to Tampa. It was my first experience there. Unbelievable few days down there, to seeing the level, the facilities. Obviously, nice to get a little bit of sunshine on your back.
Yeah, of course.
In late March, it was really special for me also that there was a few kids in that program that were there playing in the U13 bracket that I'd coached from like 8, 9 years old. So to see them go through their development, there was also Coach Aaron was down there and his team won it. And same again, we had 5 or 6 boys in there and 1 or 2 players standing out. Really says a lot about our program when one of those U15 boys who's played for Inter his whole entire life is a captain of the AC Connecticut USL Academy team. So that says a lot about that. And then, off the back of that, we had the Manhattan tournament for those teams that didn't go to the USL Academy Cup. So, it was a good month for getting the USL stuff up and running. And then we'll swing it back to Steve, because obviously in that same time I think I stepped off the plane and went straight to Milford, straight from the sunshine to a just above 30-degree day in Milford, where we did, I don't know, Steve,
it was cold.
Maybe 16 hours each day on the field, right? Doing that.
Yeah, well,
Jamboree.
Yeah, it was. So yeah, we did 4 age groups a day. So within each age group we did 22-minute games. So yeah, we had about a 2.5 hour time slot per age group. So I think, did we do it was a boys Saturday, girls Sunday, or the other way around? But I remember it was the day we had the girls. That was the coldest, and it was cold all weekend. But I think we had to pivot a little bit, because we moved it to Orange Ave, which actually turned out to go pretty well. And this was the year before. We only did 7v7, but we added 9v9. This past March, and it went really smooth, to be honest. I think we obviously had a big turnout, didn't we? From Inter-Connecticut teams, and then we were joined by teams from Ryan Kinney's CT Rush branch. We had some Cheshire teams in there.
Yeah, we had Shelton before they were under our umbrella.
Shelton before they came to us, and some PSC Dynamo teams, and that pretty much covered everything. I think it was a real good turnout. I think it's a good way to kickstart the season, right? I think you got competitive games without the pressure of, we've got to win every game to win the trophy, if that makes sense. So I think, and so that by having that environment, it keeps everyone a little bit less crazier. Would that be the right word to use? Because even obviously people, you're playing to win regardless of if it's a scrimmage or not. It's a competitive game, but it just kept everyone in that environment of, right, this is about getting ready for the spring season. I think that's it was a positive, and looking forward to doing it again this March. Yeah,
definitely. And you had the icebreaker challenge there too, right? 2011.
Yes. So the icebreaker challenge was the week before the Jamboree, or 2 weeks before, down in New York. I think, was it at Brentwood? Is Leon on here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it at Brentwood?
Yep.
Yeah. So we took the 011 girls, which we'd done a few sessions at what was Sono now, or is it North Athletic? I don't even know what it's called now, but I'll still call it Sono. We've done a few sessions, and then we took a group. Obviously, they're playing 11v11 now, but back then it was 9v9, made up of Milford, Litchfield, and Norwalk players to participate in that tournament. It was good. I think we finished runners up by a point. It was a real good tournament. Again, another cold day. It was late afternoon on a Saturday, actually. So I think our last game was 6 p.m. But yeah, went down there and played 3 games, 2 30-minute halves each game. And yeah, it was a real competitive tournament. I think Ashley had a 2014 girls group there as well, which I think Leon helped out with a little bit as well. It was something a little bit different that I know we're looking into doing maybe this March also with a few other of our girls' regional teams. Now that we've kind of got that off the ground, we didn't really have any regional teams this time last year. This was, I guess, the first stepping stone for it to what we have now on the girls' side. And we have what the regional teams participating in the Zone 1 Academy League. So yeah, it was a good tournament, and yeah, busy. It was a busy second half of March, kind of kick starting the spring season with obviously that, and obviously the Jamboree that we hosted as well. So yeah, it was cold, but some good soccer. Yeah.
We had some more tournaments in March as well. We had the Litchfield Westport tournament.
Yeah, they did that. Yeah, that was Dave and Dwayne's teams.
I think they both won as well, right?
And yeah, Dwayne's team won it. Yeah. Last kick of the game. I think we've got that on our social media in the past. It was last kick of the game against a Danbury or AC Connecticut team that was disguised as Danbury.
Yeah.
And then also the Manhattan tournament.
Yeah, that was prior to the USL Academy Cup. It was almost like our warm-up. One thing I did notice there, especially at the U20 age group that we had, and we had a couple of younger ones as well, how when you get older, you're doing these kind of tournaments for the benefit of the kids. And this is what Stephen was saying about the Icebreaker Challenge. We were playing, I can't remember who it was playing, but we would try and new experiment because we had the USL Academy in our mind. So we're using this almost like a pre-season friendly.
Right.
And, I think we were like 2-0 up, 3-0 up and like cruising. And we said, all right, let's see what would happen if we were playing with 10 men or how we would defend or, or something like that. Or let's try the low press versus the high press. And those were the instructions to the kids. And like, obviously the other team came back and scored. You'd think they'd won the World Cup. And, little did they know that we were just using it to experiment. But it just shows you how different mentalities towards these tournaments. And sometimes the results aren't the be all and end all.
Yeah,
because that ultimately helped us when we went to the USL Academy in Tampa. We got to the final.
So well, and we say that all the time. We're not coaching for this game. We're coaching for games in the future and preparing these kids for anything that they have coming.
I think that message goes even further, right? Because Leon's referring to our U18s, U19s, U20s. So, for those parents that are right at the lower end of that age scale, it's even more important. And I do have to go on file to say the Manhattan tournament is played at my least favorite location for soccer in the whole entire world. Randall's Island. Hate it. We get there. It's always cold no matter when. It's always windy. Parking's a night.
No parking. $50 in tolls.
But other than that, it's a great tournament.
We have that this year, actually. I heard that.
I've just put vacation in for those days.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. It might not run this year. The state of New York have put there's a lot of asylum seekers.
Oh, don't know.
Oh, really?
So, a friend of mine runs the race. He goes, Leon, it on the turf is like lots of tents,
shelters,
and stuff like that. So something to look out for.
Wow.
Bit of a heads up.
All right. April.
Yeah, now we can move on to April. April is usually when we hold our tryouts before the summer season. And we had a decent turnout in April.
Very good.
We had a very good turnout in April.
Yeah, we have a in my opinion a unique approach to our tryouts. We like to give kids the opportunity to come in and join some sessions opposed to just coming in and joining tryouts. So when you see that April, you think, wow, that's early for tryouts. But the main reason we do that is we allow kids to, show their best foot or being able to, adapt to a session. It's very difficult to ask for a kid to come in. And when we do tryouts, we have over 100 kids at tryouts and you're trying to watch a kid and realistically you only see them for 5 minutes. So we do this where we started it right at the beginning of the spring season. We allow parents to sign up for 1, 2, 3 sessions a week and just come in and be part of the team, get to know the coaches, get to know, the environment. Is the commute going to work? And one big thing that Leon always told me is it's an awesome way for the parents to try at the club. A lot of the people think that, what the kids are trying out for us. It can be looked at both ways. You've got to make sure that the club matches your beliefs, your philosophy, the way you want your children to be taught. And by jumping in early April and doing those sessions, that makes it so much easier for us when we get to September, because you've already had a month with us on the field. You know what you're going to expect. You know what the sessions are. And usually that gives kids a better opportunity to try out. So, it is crazy how soon the tryout process starts. If I'm 100% honest, from when I started here, you had to do them after Memorial Weekend. I think if we did them after Memorial Weekend now, every single kid in the state of Connecticut would have a team by now. So, we have had to adapt with the times. and just the amount of how big the club's got, and we are a popular club, and there are a lot of kids now that do want to try out for us off the back of that. So yeah, that's usually when our tryout process starts. We'll be doing the same again this year. We'll start brainstorming on when the dates are going to be. They are different locations at different times. Steve might have his the week before us. The girls might be wedged in the middle. The high school boys might be a little bit later. But yeah, tryouts, it's always an exciting time, but also a very, very busy time. I think sometimes it's a good thing. I didn't get to see my wife for 3 days on the trot. I think I saw Aaron every single day. Yeah. I didn't see any of my family members, but usually when you get to the tryout spot, there's a few days a little bit quieter coming up when we hit late June, early July.
Yeah, and we continue to have great turnout at tryouts, and I do agree with you. We have a very unique approach to tryouts that allows the coaches and allows the parents and allows the players to kind of find the best fit team, club, all that stuff. So
one of the best compliments I had is actually from a high school coach that's involved with our program, and he said that one of our unique things that we have is we have lots of barriers to entry. We right now we have the Winter League open to everyone. We have Winter Premier, the extra time youth academy, lots going on. And I have to point out as well that the tryouts, our existing players are always trying out. Yeah. So that's one of the unique things here.
I think the industry's changed a lot. If you think 5-10 years ago doing these tryouts, it would be your stereotypical, this is your one tryout date and anywhere from 50 to 200 kids show up, and you're doing, and like I said, I think just the way the game's evolved from the business standpoint of it and the way clubs are run, I think, like you just said, Leon, those different barriers of entry, whether it be through this clinic or that, or joining a team practice, like Tom said, which I think is the best way to do it, is when you get players to come into your team practice with the current teams, because they get a better feel for it, rather than, like I said, just the open tryout is still important because you need to give that opportunity. But I think this day and age, you like to hope that you're keeping the majority of the players that you've already got and supplementing from there for your growth to make things better, which getting them
in the office now, and you can, and I know you have there in Milford, we got our list of potential teams for next year and who's going to be on them next year already. We got, we might need, this team is going up to 9v9, so 2 extra players, or we need a left back and a striker, and we're looking out already for these players. But I know we're going off on a tangent about tryouts, but no, nice insight, I think, to some of the parents.
Of course.
Yeah.
Another thing that happened in April was we finalized for the plans for the turf. That was a big thing because you deliberated for a little while, a couple different companies, right?
Well, there was one company that they dragged their feet. They gave it the emotional thing, the fact that the guy had gone to what was All Saints Central Catholic. He's it's so important to us, but in the end nothing was kind of getting done, and I was very conscious, Marty was very conscious, that we told parents that we were going to get it done this year. Meanwhile, we were fundraising, but there was a secondary company that or Phil Turf that we had put off because of the emotional attachment and the promise that it was going to be, the world's greatest thing. But fair play to Phil Turf. We gave them the specs and gave them everything they needed. And within a week, we had more done from them than, and that was the one where we were able to utilize the opportunity of having the black, the turf, the track, because initially we were going to be inside of the track. So it was almost going to be like plunked inside the gravel track.
Oh, wow.
But no, they helped us do the track version.
Yeah, I do want to jump in there as well. Leon mentioned it. We do want to thank everybody who donated as well to the turf. It was massive big shout out to Leon and Marty. They donated a lot themselves. There were a few other individual families that reached out, and massive thank you to everybody who have donated and continue to donate. We are trying to make this a special club. The turf is helping, and then there is more to come. So yeah, thank you to everyone who donated. And I also think the next point on our list is another one that's one I am very proud we offer, but also shows how much Leon goes above and beyond for the club, the youth coach mentor program. I know that's a special one for you, Leon, right?
Yeah, I should call it the mental program. But no, it says on one of the old news articles, I think it was born out of the fact that in February 2023, my old high school coach reached out. He had a job at University of Alabama, Birmingham. I think it was 30 years ago. Was it 30 years? Yeah, I can't remember. 20 years ago.
That makes you sound younger.
I know, yeah. He got the job. He was having the reunion. It was 95, 94. So what is that? Oh my God, it is 30 years.
No, 20, 25.
Yeah.
25.
And no, he was having his 30-year reunion. He got me as a young introvert, believe it or not, a 17-year-old, to go over there because the camps in those days were massive. He was the head coach at the college, but he was allowed to do camps as a fundraiser. And obviously, when you got 120, 140 kids on camp, he paid for my flight to come over, mentored me as this introvert, and kind of got me into coaching. And I was really pleased that he had asked me to do the, go. He goes, "Oh, Leon, you live in America. Can you come to your reunion?" Not knowing that, Alabama. But I went down there, really pleased to go and see him. And it kind of, we got talking about how he got me into coaching and how we're doing now. And it really started to, let me help these high school players like he helped me. So it kind of came from there, and we did a different lesson each week. And it was on-field practice and on-field learning. And no, we really got some good, enthusiastic coaches out of there that have got us out of a bind as well. As well. So it's a two-way thing.
Yeah, definitely.
You missed out the most important part, though, Leon. You said he recruited you as a young 17-year-old, but you forgot to mention with hair.
I didn't have hair then either.
No, did no, seriously, Leon, I worked with a couple of your coaches from your mental program when I covered the Friday nights for Christmas, and they were great. They did a really good job. I think I met 3 or 4 of them, and they were awesome. So good work.
I'll second that, because we've had a few in the summer, right? We had really a few jump in during the summer, and they were great. Just those little things of just thinking a step ahead, where you're trying to get the kids together. They're already moving the goals. They're getting teams done. They're getting the pennies ready. So no, it is great. And I do think most of us that are coaches at the club have somebody that we think back to, as Leon was referring to, as the high school coach who helped him. I have many people that I know helped me when I was that 16, 17-year-old, just left school and didn't know which route to go. And I've been lucky to have a few. I have people who helped me get to the USA, people who helped me, since I've been in America, and so on. So I do think us being able to give back and do that for most of the kids that play for us as well, I think it is pretty special.
Of course. Thank you all for listening to another interview podcast. Next week, we will be back with May through August of the 2023 year in review. Thank you again for listening. Please, tell inter-families about this podcast and tell friends, and let's see if we can get those numbers up on YouTube. Thank you very much, and see you all soon.
Thanks for listening to the Interview Podcast. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, find us on Facebook and Instagram, and check out our website, www.interctfc.com.